everybody. So today's stories, we're going to do some that are about nature. And Mr. Froggy here, he wants to help me with open shut them. He likes giving great big hugs, don't you, Mr. Froggy? Yeah. So Mr. Froggy's going to help with open shut them. So if you guys could get your hands ready. But Mr. Froggy can't bend his fingers like we can. So he does it a little bit different. So you can do it the way Mr. Froggy's doing it, or you can do it the way we normally do it. Are you ready? Open, shut them, give a little clap, clap, clap. Open, shut them, lay them in your lap, lap, lap. Creep them, crawl them, right up to your chin, chin, chin. Open up your little mouth, but do not let them in. Creep them, crawl them, right back down again. Open, shut them, now our stories begin. Bye. That's right. Bye, Mr. Froggy. Mr. Froggy's going to sit over here and he's going to listen to the stories because he loves to hear stories. So I'm going to do a poem with you first. So this one is called The Caterpillar. So I have a little caterpillar friend, and Mr. Caterpillar is going to help us with the poem. So here's Mr. Caterpillar. Do you see him? Yeah. A caterpillar crawled to the top of a tree. I think I'll take a nap, said he. So under a leaf he began to creep, to spin his cocoon, and he fell asleep. All winter he slept in his cocoon bed, till spring came along one day and said, wake up, you sleepyhead. Wake up, it's time to get out of bed. So he opened his eyes that sunshiny day, and oh, he was a butterfly and flew away. Look at my butterfly. Oh, wow. Do you want to do that one with me? So you don't have a caterpillar and a butterfly, but you have your finger. So here we go. Got your finger ready? A caterpillar crawled to the top of a tree. I think I'll take a nap, said he. So under a leaf he began to creep, to spin his cocoon, and he fell asleep. All winter he slept in his cocoon bed, till spring came along one day and said, wake up, you sleepyhead. Wake up, it's time to get out of bed. So he opened his eyes that sunshiny day, and oh, he was a butterfly and flew away. See how I hooked my thumbs to make my butterfly and make his wings? Good job. So the next story is a flannel board story. So here's my flannel board. And this is called It Looked Like Spilt Milk. So sometimes it looked like spilt milk, but it wasn't spilt milk. Sometimes it looked like a rabbit, but it wasn't a rabbit. Sometimes it looked like a bird, but it wasn't a bird. Sometimes it looked like a tree, but it wasn't a tree. Sometimes it looked like an ice cream cone. Yummy. But it wasn't an ice cream cone. Sometimes it looked like a flower, but it wasn't a flower. Sometimes it looked like a pig, but it wasn't a pig. Sometimes it looked like a birthday cake, but it wasn't a birthday cake. Sometimes it looked like a sheep, but it wasn't a sheep. Sometimes it looked like a great horned owl, but it wasn't a great horned owl. Sometimes it looked like a mitten, but it wasn't a mitten. Sometimes it looked like a squirrel, but it wasn't a squirrel. Sometimes it looked like an angel, but it wasn't an angel. Sometimes it looked like spilt milk, but it wasn't spilt milk. It was just, do you know what it is? Can you guess? A cloud. It's a cloud in the sky. And that's the story. It looked like spilt milk. Do you ever go outside and look at the clouds and see the clouds outside and see what they look like? Next time we have a cloudy day, maybe you could look out there and you can see.
Hi friends! Today we're going to create a landscape. I want to practice foreground, middle ground, and background. We're going to be drawing a line landscape, so we're going to be using line to add texture and visual interest to our landscape. All you're going to need today are some drawing materials. I'm going to be using markers, and I'm also going to be using crayons, but you can use whatever you want. Let's begin. So I'm going to use colorful markers, and I decided to pre-select my markers beforehand. I'm going to be using these greenish markers for the foreground, these cooler colors, these purpley colors for the middle ground, and these colors plus a little bit of the blue for the background. Alright, let's begin. So taking my first set of markers, I'm going to come in here and start to draw some wavy lines for my foreground. Now I'm going to start filling them in with lines. So our foreground is now complete. I made wavy lines to represent hills, and then I filled in those hill areas with different lines. Now I'm going to go for the middle part, and for this project our landscape is going to have mountains in the middle ground. We have hills in the foreground, mountains in the middle ground, and what we're going to do is create like a big long zigzag to create our mountains. And we can have mountains also some more in the forefront and some more in the back, so we can have a little bit of a layering effect. Now that I finished my middle ground, I'm ready to go for my background. And my background, I've decided to go for these colors because I'm going to do my sun and my clouds. And I think I actually might do one more color. Okay. All right. I'm going to make my sun look like it's coming out of the horizon or behind the mountains. So I'm going to start off this way. Yep. And I'm going to alternate between these two colors to do the rays of the sun. I've completed my landscape. I have my foreground with my hills, I've got my middle ground with my mountains, and I've got the background with the sun and the clouds. As you can see, it goes from very large to much smaller. So when you have something in the foreground, it's the biggest part of your picture, and in the background, everything is just a little bit smaller. And it makes it look as if you're looking into the distance. Now I'm going to take my crayons and I'm going to fill in the white spots. Let's talk about something also. It's called value. And value is when you color from light to dark. Something has value so as you can see, from lightest to dark, that talks about, that is value when you color something from light to dark. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in these white spaces, and I'm going to use value to color dark to light in between my areas of my landscape picture. I'm going to use crayons. You can use colored pencils or watercolors, whatever drawing material you want to use. Alright friends, I finished my landscape. I have my foreground, my middle ground, and my background. My sun is looking really, really bright. But it's time to do your final touches. Always remember to sign your artwork. Whenever an artist finishes their artwork, they sign their name on the lower right hand side. So my name is Jessica. So I'm gonna write Jessica. My last name is Rosa. And that's it. You are done, friends. Again, as always, I hope that you send me an email with a picture of your artwork. I look forward to seeing it. See you later. Bye.